two questions for everybody. Who'd like more money in their lives by show of hands? Not you? Who would like more time off by show of hands? Perfect. And who would like more of both by show of hands? Fantastic. Oh, I got two hands. Excellent. Excellent. I love it. So, welcome to our monthly Phoenix Group networking and education event. I want to let you know what our core values are, what the point of this community is, what we're all about as a community. So the first thing, education. We want to make sure you can learn new skills so you can execute better in the marketplace and be able to get to your goals faster, whatever those may be for you. And the second thing, community. And what I mean by community is creating a place just like this where like-minded people can get together, trade deals, raise capital, get advice, get a second pair of eyes on their numbers, whatever it is to raise you up and give the thing to you that you need to make your business more successful. That's what the community is all about. And the last thing, collaboration. I don't believe there should be such a thing as competition in this world. I think there should just be collaboration. How can we help each other to joint ventures, to make your business more successful, and therefore my business is getting more successful, because that way there's more for everybody. Those are our three core principles of this community, and that's what we're all about. So, we're going to go over two things tonight. How many things? Two. Perfect. And I want to go over a little bit of a concept here. We're going to have a lot of fun tonight. Woo!
Sorry, Tim. Can you move the board a little bit?
You're behind the fireplace, aren't you?
I know, guys. I heard.
A little bit over?
Yes, please.
Can you shift the camera for me? Just to make
Yeah.
sure that we're still good there?
Yeah.
Is that good there? Is that better?
Yeah, a little more.
A little more.
Yeah, good.
Good there? Up a little bit? That's an over right there in the back. Make sure you can see. So, V stands for visual, A is auditory, K is kinesthetic, and S is sensory. So we're going to be having a lot of fun today. It's not going to be woo-woo, it won't be rah-rah, but it's going to be a lot of fun because we learn a lot better. Research has shown that if you engage all the centers of your mind, that if kids in school learned like this, then they would graduate with the same knowledge half the time. Okay, can everybody agree to play full out by show of hands?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So, first thing we're going to cover this evening . First thing is how to control property. And second thing is, I think, what we all want in our lives. Cash flow 101. Because I believe that you should always have a plan B with all of your investments. And later on, you're going to hear from two really good friends of mine, ex-bankers. Bankers are very conservative. You should be as well in your investments. So that no matter what your mainline strategy is, wholesaling, flipping, rental, whatever that is, that property should always cash flow. That way you're never in a position where you have to make a hasty decision. And when you're in a hurry in real estate, that's where you can get in trouble. If you've got the time on your side, real estate is very forgiving over the long term, protects your capital very, very well. Now, before I get into both of these, is it alright to tell you just a little bit about myself and my story?
Yeah.
Is that alright by show of hands? Okay, perfect. I think it's important to know who this guy is up on this stage. Why should you listen to me? So, the first thing is, I grew up in a single family home. My mom told me, go out there, get good grades, go to a good school, get a good job. That's how you become successful. Who else has heard that from their parents or something very similar? Okay, perfect. So I did that. I went out there, got a good job, and I got an engineering degree. So I worked in telecommunications for just shy of 11 years. I realized through that journey that I wasn't able to go as far as I wanted, as fast as I wanted. There's always that ceiling on your income as an employee earner, because there's only so many hours in a day. And I got called out a lot, and that was sort of annoying after 10 years in the business, that I wanted control over my time. So I thought, let's start studying well. So I started reading lots of books and things like that, doing a lot of research, became a student of wealth, if you will. So I did that, and I read book after book, and it didn't matter what their main theme was or the variety of topics they may have talked about. Real estate was a common theme in every one of those books. So I thought to myself, that must be the business for me. I always intended on starting a business of some kind. Real estate's the one that made sense. So I went and took one of those 3-day seminars on a weekend, learned all the possibilities there were to make money in real estate. So I thought, I'm just going to go out there and figure the rest out. Being an engineer, I thought, I'll figure it out. How hard could it possibly be? And over the years, I realized just how hard it actually was. So that was my trajectory into real estate. Now, since then, over the last 7 years, on average, I've done about $1 million in transactions every year since then. I also sat on the board of directors for a national real estate club here in Canada, Canadian REI. I was featured on CBC News for my expertise in foreclosures at the beginning of last year. Just before Christmas, I was interviewed by Maclean's magazine to give them an update on the market as what's going on behind the scenes, because the media will say one thing, what's really going on the front lines. And I'm also an author, obviously a speaker, and I'm a real estate coach. I like to show people how to build a real estate business from the ground up. And I also won Investor of the Year in my second year in the business from CanadaRac.com, and I raised over $1.2 million for a development project in just shy of 2 weeks. That was pretty exciting. Didn't know I had that skill until I got on the phone and started making those calls. And I made over $125,000 on a single real estate deal. So if that sounds pretty exciting, show of hands. I'd love to have a chat with you and tell you a little bit more how I did that. And over the last 7 years, I've spent over $100,000 on mentorship, coaching, masterminds, education, seminars, all these things, because I truly believe in education. That's why I'm here, and I'm happy you all showed up this evening. So I've put in the time, put in the effort to learn those skills, because you can't do this alone. Business and real estate especially is not a solo sport. Would you agree?
Yes.
Perfect. And that's what this community is all about. So what I'm really passionate about is showing people how to build wealth and build a real estate business. Whether that's building their own business around real estate and doing it themselves and getting their hands dirty, or whether it's being passive, they've got a great job that they love, or they've got a business that they love, and they want to have the investment vehicle of real estate without having to do all the work. Are there some people like that in the room? By show of hands? About half, awesome. And I think you should do, if you're a business owner of real estate, do a mix of both, passive and active. You can't always be doing active projects, otherwise you're never going to have that, cash flow in your life. So, we're going to get into the first topic, how to control property. Everybody see that in the back, what that acronym says? What's it say, folks?
AFS.
AFS, okay. That stands for Agreement for Sale. This is the way that you can control a property without ever actually having to take ownership of the property. Now, the first thing that's really important to know about this is, where is this tool applicable? This is a tool in real estate, one of many strategies that you can use. So where is it applicable? Where can I use this? So this works really well when an owner needs to sell the property. Okay? Repeat after me. When an owner needs to sell the property. Now you?
When the owner needs to sell the property.
Perfect. So I want, there's paper on all the places where there's a surface. I know the people in the back are going to have a bit of a challenge with this. But I want you to grab a partner, so in groups of 2 wherever possible. If you've got an uneven number, you can do a few groups of 3. So I'm going to give you 2 minutes to find a partner. If you can't find a partner, please raise your hand. Look for somebody else to raise hand, and then partner up. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? I only heard one yes. Does that make sense? Perfect. 2 minutes, go.
Not long, it's funny.
You guys can be partners, it's okay. You got similar shirts.
I don't trust the guy. I don't trust the guy. Oh wait, what do you think? Okay, I trust him. Okay. Oh, did it? Oh, yeah.
I need to talk to you after, okay? Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay. Yeah, let's go and
Okay,
get
does
it.
everybody have a partner? Yes? Okay. So with you and your partner, I want you to brainstorm and write down as many reasons you can think of, life circumstances that can happen, where somebody needs to sell their property. This is somebody might have to move out of town for work as an example, or somebody's died, and it's an estate sale. They want to move that property quickly to settle the estate. So those are two examples. I want you to think as many as you can. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to brainstorm, write those down. 2 minutes starting now. Okay, everybody start wrapping up what's written down. Okay, everybody. Stop writing. Please quiet down. Okay, so one thing I'd like to say, when we're doing the activity, you guys are talking, just to be able to bring the noise level back down and move on to the next section. If I raise my left hand and I just wait, if anybody notices me, please have everybody else raise their left hand and stop talking. Does that make sense? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Perfect, thank you. So, I'd like to get a couple shares from the group. What did everybody come up with? So, please raise your hand. I'll point to you and then I'll give the answer. So, Constantine, please stand up so everybody can hear you a little better.
Estate sale.
Estate sale, awesome. I'm going to abbreviate these because there's going to be a lot of them. Who else? Susanna.
Divorce?
Divorce. Yes, sir.
Lost the job.
Lost their job. No job. Okay. Richard, please stand up.
Rental property disaster with tenants.
Rental property disaster, some tired landlord.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Richard. Who else? Mika, please stand up. You're behind the fireplace there.
Job loss?
Job loss, we already had that one.
Economic problem.
Sorry, say again?
Economic issue.
Economic, so finances. They can't afford it anymore for some other reason, which we may not know what that is. It may not matter. Finances.
Retirement.
Retirement. They want to cash out and right off into the sunset. Retiring. Awesome. Yes? Divorce. Divorce. Yeah, divorce. That was the idea.
Medical emergencies.
Medical. Yeah. Health. Medical emergency? Yes, what was your name again?
Marguerite,
Marguerite.
their houses were invested, but they purchased it for.
Underwater. Excellent. Thank you very much. So UW is underwater. So that means the mortgage is more than what the house is worth. Yes, please stand up.
Yeah, needing capital to do other business.
They want to invest in something else.
Yeah, something else.
Absolutely.
Needing
So
capital.
they want to get their capital out. Yes.
They need to move for work.
They're moving. Yeah, moving for work, moving to take care of family, whatever it might be.
Downsizing.
Downsizing? Yeah.
And upside.
Downsize or upsize? Yeah, absolutely. Stand up.
They've been convicted of a felony.
They're going to jail.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Give that a round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen. With no get out of jail free card, right? Beautiful. Who else? Who else? Want to get a couple more? From the back. Brad's been doing, he's a rock star up here, this guy. He's been giving me a bunch of stuff. Who else in the back there? Brianne.
Do we have family reasons?
What kind of family reason?
Things that maybe we don't know about. Maybe they have a family member who's ill somewhere else.
Yeah, sick family member that falls under medical. Yeah, what else? You and your partner, what else? I'm gonna be tough on you.
Inheritance.
Natural disaster.
A natural disaster. So, insurance claim. The insurance doesn't want to fix the property. Awesome. Excellent. Yes, sir.
Alberta Health Services has closed them down. You can't.
Condemned.
Condemned.
AHS, so that's could be growth, could be bugs, could be mold, could be a lot of reasons. Excellent. This is a great list, you guys. That's fantastic. Let me see if there's anything on here that got missed. Okay, here's one. Everybody loves these people, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It says CRA for those people who may not be able to see at the back. Not our friends necessarily, correct? There could be a CRA lien on the property. The estate sale we got. We missed this one. Surprising. FC, foreclosure. It can be facing foreclosure. Underwater, we got that one. Underwater, yeah, we got that. What else? Can't work. You guys are great. Jail, insurance, there's things I didn't have on my list. Give yourselves a round of applause. That was excellent. So, this is all the situations, and there's 100 more that could come up in somebody's life where agreement for sale would be a really good fit for them. So, the flip side of that, it's also important to know, is where it doesn't work. So, very simply, in agreement for sale, it won't work where the homeowner tells you, I need to come off the title for some specific reason. Because the reason why you don't have to go to the bank is because the old owner is actually going to remain on title for the home. So if they actually have to come off the title due to debt ratio reasons or some other compelling circumstance, then agreement for sale won't be a good fit for them. So you have to find out what their needs are and what their true needs are. Somebody thinks they need this and they may actually be able to do something else. Your job to educate them why this could be a good situation for them, but it's not going to be a win for them if they actually have to come off title. Does that make sense?
Yes.
By show of hands, does that make sense?
Yes.
Perfect. Has anybody ever seen this before?
Yeah.
Anyone knows what it stands for? Can you stand up, shout out to the crowd?
What's in it for me?
Awesome. This is the radio station all of us are tuned into, so I'm going to go over the things that benefits you as the investor.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so what does this say up here? Let's use my engineering scrawl. Everybody's going to shout it out. What's it say? Perfect. This says assignable. Next one? Bank. What's this? No money or little money is what that means. And the next one?
6 months.
6 months to 5 years. And the last one? Market price. So you get full control of the property. So what that means is, whatever your mainline strategy is, you get control of that house, you have the right to do that. Flip it, rent it, do a rent to own. Whatever makes your strategy work and profitable, you have the ability to do that with agreement for sale. In addition to that, you're going to get a document as part of the paperwork that says you've got power of attorney on the home to talk to the bank on their behalf. So if it's a longer term for this agreement for sale, you can actually go and talk to the bank on behalf of the old homeowner. They can release their part information, so you can actually even do the refi. If you're able to get a better interest rate, they might have had a poor interest rate, and today's rates are better. You've got the ability to do that with agreement for sale. You get full control. They're always assignable. Who in this room is interested in doing wholesaling by show of hands? Really? I suggest that everybody in this room get used to wholesaling, because the most powerful thing in business is actually the referral. contrary to popular belief, you can wholesale anything. It could be a client, it could be a house, it could be a barrel full of jet fuel. One of my partners is actually right now working on a jet fuel deal where somebody wants to buy jet fuel, happen to know somebody who can supply it. I connected those two individuals together, and if everything goes well, you paid a referral fee on that. Question?
Can you just talk a little bit more about that? Like, let's say if there's people in this room that work kind of like a deal mechanic, where, like you said, they've got sellers on one side, buyers on one side, they connect the deal. How does the process like that work? And how do you create a compensation structure?
How does a process like that work?
Yeah.
Always through the lawyers. So, unless this is somebody that you have a really good relationship with, like the person you said you've known since you were little kids, if you can trust them on that level, then that could be different. But you always put these things on paper. It's called a joint venture agreement.
Right.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you for your question. I appreciate that. So, they're always assignable. It's part of the contract. And no banks, because that property stays in the old homeowner's name. However, that said, you're going to be responsible for all their mortgage payments, their taxes, and their insurance in most cases. That is a negotiating point. It is still their house. I would suggest to you that you negotiate them paying the insurance payments because it's still their house. But if that's going to make or break the deal, then you can pay the insurance payments for them. The taxes, the insurance, all the liabilities for this house, you're now responsible for the life of the term. And no money down or very little money down. Sometimes you want to create a win in all cases. Would you agree? By show of hands?
Yes.
Perfect. So if somebody has lost their job and they have to move back in with family somewhere else in Canada, I would love to be able to give them enough money to move, pay first and last, and be able to put groceries in their fridge. That'd be a good thing to do, wouldn't it? By show of hands?
Yeah.
Perfect. So you might give them a little bit of money, sometimes 10 grand, $5,000, depends how much money's in the deal, to be able to have the right to get control of this property in this fashion. And you want to give them enough money to solve their problem. We talked about pre-foreclosure. That could be arrears. There could be back payments. There could be legal fees that you might need to pay off to bail that property out so you can get an agreement for sale on it. So you may have to put some money into the deal to be substantially less than a 20% down payment regular mortgage. Does that make sense? By show of hands?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. And the standard term generally starts at about 6 months and goes all the way up to 5 years. So even if you're a rent-to-own person who has a 3-year term with a tenant buyer, you can still operate that strategy very well during this timeline. And when you talked about underwater, that was a very, very good suggestion because you're getting such incredible terms and really full flexibility, and you can assign that to somebody else, that you could be able to take over a property that's underwater. You've got time to do a project or wait for appreciation, do rent to own where you've got a guaranteed sale price, or do a renovation or whatever it might be. So you can pay it closer to a market price. I don't ever suggest anybody pay market price, but it can be closer to. You don't need to get as big of a discount in the buy. Always get discount in buy. That's rule number 1 in real estate. It's rule number what? 1. Always make money in the buy. Never pay retail for anything. But if you're getting really flexible terms, you can be a little bit more flexible in the price. So, how it works.
General,
Yes.
can you explain the term on a signing deal?
So I can't quite hear you.
Can you explain the term? You mentioned a 6-month to 5-year term.
Yes.
And what happens at the end of this term?
We're getting there, my friend.
Okay.
So, how it works. I'm gonna abbreviate that. So title stays in the homeowner's name. So the second thing is you agree to a price today. That's why it's called agreement for sale. Because you're actually agreeing to the price of the home that's going to sell sometime in the future, close sometime in the future, today. So you can close the deal at any time. When you asked about the term, you can close the deal at the end of the term or any time within the term. So if it was 5 years and you did a renovation, you were done in a year, you can sell it then. Or at the end of the term, you would have to pay them out at that point or get a mortgage. So it's not like an option or rent to own where you have the right to buy a property but not the obligation. You're agreeing that you're going to pay that homeowner whatever is on that contract at the end of the term or any time within the term. Does that make sense? Yes. Awesome. Okay, and during that term, you're responsible for all expenses. So how this would work is, it says in the contract that, and also for the homeowner, this is very low risk for them because when you take over this property, you take over all the liabilities. If for whatever reason you didn't pay, it specifies within the contract, 30 days plus a day, you get the keys back, no foreclosure, because it's still their house. So you have lost your rights to this deal if you don't meet your obligation, which means paying all the payments for the life of that term and buying that property for the price that you agreed today. Yes?
Can you just talk about, let's say your strategy where let's say you're buying houses or properties for, let's say, Airbnb, or versus buying properties to fix up and resell. How do those different strategies work out?
How would that work in this?
Yeah.
It could be a way to acquire the property, but at some point during that term that you agree, let's say it's 2 years, you have to look at getting bank financing on that property if you intend to continue to operate as a rental. Does that make sense? Awesome. Thank you for your question. So any questions on that so far?
So what is second agree to?
Price.
Agree to the price today. So the owner also for them, they know that they're getting a guaranteed sale for a certain price, right? They're not at the mercy of the market. If they were to list it the traditional way, they might get an offer at X, they might get an offer at Y. They know for sure they're going to get, say, $300,000 as an example. They know at some point they're going to get that much cash in their pocket if there's still money in the deal for them. Make sense?
Yeah.
Awesome. I want some ideas from the crowd. So what's in it for the owner? Please raise your hand if you have an idea.
Less stress.
I'll point at you. Please.
Less stress for the owner.
Less stress. Awesome. What else?
Save their credit.
Save their credit. That's a big one. What else?
Save their credit if they want out, just out. They
Save
don't
the
have
credit.
equity
Yep.
there.
You've got their credit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Profits.
Profits. They're actually going to get a guaranteed profit. Yeah. Whereas they may not have otherwise if they were going to sell traditionally.
They get the guaranteed price.
Yeah, they got a guaranteed price.